welcome back. This is episode 3 of the Knit Song podcast. My name is Audrey and I'll be hosting today. Thank you so much if you are tuning in for the first time. Welcome. I'm so excited you're here, and thank you so much if you're coming back. I was excited to see we got some more subscribers this week, so thank you so much. It's been really fun to meet people as they introduce themselves and comment, and that's been great. So thank you so much for subscribing, and I'm just excited to be talking about knitting and crochet and sewing and craft stuff and all that kind of fun stuff. So if you would like to contact me, I would love for that to happen. On Instagram, I knit a little song, all one word, and I'll put that in the description box. On Ravelry, I'm Katknitss, like Katniss from the Hunger Games, with knits in the middle, and I will put that in the description box as well, so that you can see all of my strange spellings for things on social media. So thank you so much for coming back and for listening. So this week was a good week, craft-wise. I had some big firsts, which you'll see in a little bit. I also had a lot of neck pain and tension from re-injuring a sore spot, so I had to sit out on the sidelines and rest instead of knitting as much as I wanted to, and that was a bummer. But I rallied, and I'm so excited because I did get some cool stuff done this week that was a lot of fun, and I'll share with you right now. So today, I want to start with whips, and some of the works I have in progress are kind of exciting, at exciting stages. So number 1, I have hereby dubbed this the random shawl. And the random shawl is this one that I had shown 2 episodes ago on the first episode, and I was around the first eyelet row, so I've made a good index finger's worth of progress there. What I'm going to do with this is continue following the basic pattern I found online for the increases that you see here, the yarn overs right here and here, and on this line, to make a half circle type of garment. So I found that pattern and I'm following it with the increases, but the pattern only talks about what to do here, what to do on the increases. And so I'm kind of using this as my knitting coloring book, if you will, to, in between those increases that I'm following, play with different textures and patterns of my own, or different patterns I have in books for just basic stitch patterns. So what I have decided with the random shawl is just to do what I feel like. So I did a few rows of, well, basically garter, then some eyelet in the middle of the garter, and then I did a stockinette section, and now I'm going back into eyelet. I think I might do some more stockinette, another row of eyelets, and then try like a waffle pattern and just try and texture this thing up. So I just want to play with different textures. If I really like it, I'm kind of keeping track of what I'm doing, so I could make it into a pattern and write it, but I really honestly just want this to be playtime and just fun, different textural knitting. So yes, I dubbed thee the random shawl. I'm knitting this on 3.5 Addy Turbo sock rockets, which I love because they're super slick, they're good for speed, as their name would suggest. I like the cord. I've heard people talk about the cord being troublesome. It's a step up from what I used to knit with, so to me, I really like the cord. The only thing that gets tricky about these guys is, if you can see, the tips are not very sharp, and it gets tricky if you're trying to do cables, or at least for me, it doesn't feel as sharp, and so I'm kind of having a harder time with like any knit two togethers where you have to get multiple stitches. It's a little bit tricky to get in there because they're a little bit more blunt than I'm used to, but I love everything about them other than that, and I think they might even offer sharper ones, so I need to look that up. Yes. Goodbye, random shawl. We will see what happens and becomes of thee. So that's my first whip. My second whip is right behind me. Dun 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 dun. I am in love with this pattern. I finished the front of the Sterling Cables sweater. Yay! I'm super excited. The hard part, I'm going to try and do this without making a lot of noise. And bring my dummy over here. Okay. So the hard part was the pattern calls for a kind of close crew neck. Not close, but like high crew neck. But then it has a like ribbed collared turtleneck cowl. And I just want a low crew neck. So I had to be brave and just kind of eyeball it and do some measuring. The mannequin helped a lot, being able to put it on her and figure out ratios and whatnot and measure. And then I had to decide when to cast off for the neck. And then I also had to kind of play around with how to stay in pattern and continue the shoulder decreases. But it went well. I like how it looks. I'm super excited about it. And in this form, I got so excited. I was like, maybe I should just make it a vest and do the back. One of the things I really want to wear this with is I just have a plain white, like collared poplin shirt. And I love the look of a cabled sweater over a white collared shirt. It's very vintage, but also just clean cut, and I don't know, it just looks so right. I don't know. I like it. So that is the current progress on the Sterling Cables sweater. The back, still quite risque. I have to get started on that hopefully this week, but we shall see. So that's whip number 2. And the side's buckling there a little bit, but yeah. All right, my third work in progress is in its infancy. I mentioned that I have joined the Andy Sat-Along that is being hosted by the amazing Katie from Inside Number 23. And I bought the pattern for the Sun Shower cardigan. And I'm so excited about it. I showed a picture of it last week. And here's that same picture. You can see it's kind of a crop sleeved, true waist, not very low waist, but it's kind of like at the, the actual waist cardigan. And I'm so excited to knit this one up. The pattern looks great. I read through it a little bit and it looks totally doable. I like her style of writing patterns, so Andy Satterland is really cool. So thank you, Katie, for introducing me to her world of patterns. Yeah, I really enjoy the knit that it's shaping up to be. Now, progress-wise, I haven't cast on yet, but that's because I was a good little knitter. I actually did a gauge swatch. I know. I'm so often tempted to completely skip that stage because I just want to start. I just want to cast on and get it going. But this time, I took a breath. I realized I wanted to wear this and I wanted to really like the size. So I took the time. I used my beautiful Cascade Venezia, I don't know how to say that properly, yarn that I've been talking about that was gifted to me by Mama. And I knit a gauge swatch and washed it and blocked it. I was so good. I did all my homework. And I really like how it came out. It's bigger. It's not quite to gauge. It's a little bit bigger and it looks almost lacy really close, but when you put it on, it definitely looks solid. It doesn't look lacy. So I'm going to knit, I think, maybe 2 sizes smaller than I normally would knit for myself and keep this gauge. I'm not going to change needle size because it'll go quick. But the main reason is that this pattern has lots of those eyelets in it, and I'm thinking the looser gauge might really show off some of the eyelets, where I've knit things with eyelets before that when you're wearing them, the eyelets don't show. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this gauge and adjust the size down and knit a smaller size because of the gauge that I got. So after filming this video today, my plan is to get a cup of coffee and actually cast on my sun shower cardigan. So there is the infancy stage of this whip. So yeah, I'm super excited about that one, and I will probably be Instagramming some of it as soon as I have a cast on item to put into the hashtag Andy Sat Along. So I'm excited about that, and it's been so much fun. If you're in that Cal, you can testify that it is amazing to see what other people are posting on Ravelry. I saw just some beautiful photographs of other Andy Satterland patterns that people are doing, and it's really exciting. And I mentioned last week, this is my first Cal, and I'm so loving it, even though I'm just at the gauge swatch stage, because it's fun to be part of a community. So yeah, feel free to say hi. I'm on there, and I'm having so much fun just experimenting and getting ready to cast on a cool sweater. So yeah, and I think that's kind of it for the whips this week. Like I mentioned, it wasn't as nitty of a week as I wanted. I do have some FOs for you. So some finished objects. The one I am most proud of is I recently finished these, and I didn't show them because they were in the wash the past 2 episodes, but my first pair of knit socks recently, and here they are. I knit these kind of helter-skelter style. I watched people's videos about how to cast on. I did them top, heel to toe. So I started up here. I did a 1x1 twisted rib, which I like. It hurt my hands. It was really kind of hard to do, but I love the structure and the tightness of it on your leg. It's a really cool, I don't know, stitch. I like the 1x1 twisted rib. And then I did 60 stitches, did it on 2.5, no, I think these were 2mm needles. And it's just a self-striping sock yarn that I found nearby, and it was a pretty easy knit. I didn't do them 2 at a time. I haven't learned that skill yet. I've watched some videos. I'm going to start because I do suffer from second sock syndrome. I'm in second mitten syndrome right now, but I did these separately, and they went so fast, and they really are comfortable. I kind of always wondered, oh, I don't know about knitting socks, because you know, can you feel the space in between when they stretch? Are they comfortable? I didn't know because I had never worn a pair of knit socks before, and I can tell you now, I love the way they feel. They're so comfortable, they're warm, and I love the texture of it is really pleasing, so I really like them. I did a heel flap and gusset, just I've partridge stitch, and then picked up the gusset, or did the turn in the heel, picked up on the gusset, and then just went around and around until I got to the toe, and I successfully mastered some Kirchner stitch. Woohoo! And look at that graft. I see why people are all about it, because you really can't see a seam. So I'm so glad that I finally bit the bullet and learned how to do that. Oh, and here's the other one to prove that they are finished. So yeah, I think I will follow a pattern next time and try and do some cool, I don't know, maybe lace or ribbed socks. I don't know. I think I will follow a pattern next time, because like I said, I hodgepodge these. I should call these my YouTube socks, because I watched about 5 different tutorials from different people on how to do every part. So yes, we'll call them the YouTube socks. Very cozy. And they wash really well. I've been surprised how well they're holding up, even just getting thrown in the washing machine. And I love that, because it just goes with everything else. Another FO is a hat I did. This is actually an old FO, but as it's winter, I pulled it out because it's cold out there. And this was my first Fair Isle project, where I did some stranded yarn knitting. I didn't pay attention to gauge, because as you can see, this is a large hat with a very large pom-pom. But I really enjoyed it, and I learned a lot. I did this, and you can see I haven't even woven in my ends. The couple times I've worn this, I've been naughty, and I just tucked the ends in. But I should do that today. For now, we'll just dispose of them into the hat. But I learned a few things about stranded knitting when I did this. Number one, I learned how to knit continental, because as I did this, I had the main yarn tensioned over my right hand and the contrast yarn, the gray, over my left. And it got comfortable so that you're knitting with one yarn is continental and one yarn is American or English, however you prefer. And it got comfortable, and I got pretty good at it, and I haven't done a single stranded knitting thing since. So I'm hoping that those skills will come back to me, because I would like to do some more stranded knitting. It's kind of a, like I said, a very large hat, but that's okay because it can kind of be slouchy and stuff. But my ribbing kind of buckles because it's so loose. So I just did a 2x2 rib, and then I just followed the basic diamond pattern. I also, if you can see, I also learned about my tension. My stitches are more wide than tall, and I know knit stitches normally are, but on the pattern, these look more like diamonds and less like little seagulls. And so I don't know what that means about the way that I knit, that my stitches are so wide and not very tall. I have no idea, but that's kind of how it turned out. So that's one thing I'd like to maybe change if I did another Fair Isle project, is to have better tension so that my stitches are closer together, I guess. I don't know. But it sure is warm, because you get all this extra warmth in there from stranding the knitting, stranding the yarn you're not using, and so it's so cozy. I kind of want to just wear it right now in the house, but yeah. So this is another hodgepodge design. I'm learning about myself as I do these videos that I rarely follow a pattern all the way through. I kind of piecemeal them together. But I really do enjoy pattern knitting and want to knit more patterns just straight through, as well as learn to write my own. But there she is, my little Fair Isle pom-pom hat. And my last FO is a special one. As you know, my name is Audrey, and this was actually the Audrey Caplet or something from an Interweave magazine I got like 6 years ago. This is an older pattern, but it's crocheted, and it's got a really cool lattice lace to it, which is tons of fun. And this was a special hat because when I did this, this was the most complicated and pretty thing that I had done at this point. I did this years ago. And when I had finished it, I was so proud of it that I gave it to my grandmother, because I was always impressed with her, well, in every way, but her seams, she was the one I mentioned who could sew anything, but she also had knit in the past, and she was always excited to see my projects and was a huge supporter of my crafty endeavors, as is my mom. And so I gave this to my gram. She passed away about 5 years ago now. And when we were deciding who should take what piece of jewelry and who had special ties and significance to certain items, a couple years after she passed, I chose. This was one of the things that everyone thought I should take back. So now the Audrey cap is back with me, and I do enjoy it, but it has special memories because it was also my grandma's for a while. And yeah, it's a really pretty hat. It's got, I'll try it on for you. It's got a real 1920s cloche kind of look, and I love that. I definitely feel like I should be singing a flapper song or something. But it's a lot of fun, and I enjoy the scalloped bottom. And I wish I could block it so that the lace shows more, because that part was what originally attracted me to this pattern. But yeah, very 1920s. I like it. All right, and I think this pattern's still available I saw it recently. It wasn't in a magazine. It might even be on Ravelry, but I don't know the designer. I can put it in the description box if I find it there. But it's a really easy crochet pattern. It's tons of fun, and it gets a cool product. So, yeah. Okay. I even have notes this week. So number 3, more FOs. I have a very important one, the one I was most excited about this week, and I didn't even remember it without my notes. Okay, so I mentioned I have been really wanting to get into dyeing my own yarn and having control over the color and how they play together, the colors, and just really wanting to do that. And my wonderful husband bought me the supplies to get started with that for Christmas. So this week, that exciting first that I mentioned was I dyed up my first hank of yarn. Yay! And I like what I got. It's a little different than what I expected I was going to get, but I like it, and I'll explain. So here it is. Dun, 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 ta-da! So this is it. This is my first skein of hand-dyed yarn, and I do like how it came out. It's really a lot of colors that I like, but let me tell you a little bit about my experience with this. I used vinegar as the acid for the acid dyes, and I don't know that I used enough. I also don't know that I'm going to use vinegar again because it does smell like vinegar, and I think I might go the other route and use citric acid. But I say that because there are places where the dye really did take true to color, and there are places where it really didn't actually absorb the color very much. I kind of like the effect it gives though, so I'm not complaining. I'm totally going to use this, but it was different than what I expected. So I'm so excited to play with this more, and I'm going to try and dye up the same colorway, that whatever this is, and see with more acid if I can get a more saturated color. But I'm going to keep a notebook, a little dyeing journal of all the things that I'm dyeing, and I'm so excited to get started. And looking at this on camera, it's really pretty. I really do like it. So yeah, I am very excited about this. It's just bare basic wool from Knit Picks. I looked for the most inexpensive type of yarn and just bought a few hanks of that because I wanted to be able to experiment without investing a ton. But as you can see, it's squishy and it's got some nice woolly give to it. I really love yarn with a little bit of a sheen though, like this one that has just a little bit of shine to it. So I think as I get better at this and more confident in my yarn dyeing skills, I think I am going to purchase some of the blends that have other different types of fibers in them, because I noticed that you get I like the sheen of those, and I love the way they feel too. But this was a big first, so I'm so excited because this is actually my first yarn baby. Yay! All right, so that was a big FO that I didn't even mention. Tisk tisk. I had one more, and it's not sewing, and it's not knit, and it's not crocheted, and it's not dyeing yarn. It's kind of random, but as it's almost time to get in the mood for Valentine's Day, I kind of wanted to decorate a little bit because I just thought it would be fun. I never decorate for Valentine's Day, and every year I think, oh, I love those decorations, it's so cute, and I just thought this year I'm going to do it. So I Instagrammed earlier today the experimental stages of it, but I kind of just came up with like a really super simple, I shouldn't even say that I came up with it, because you don't have to come up with it. It's simple. But it's not some genius idea, I promise. But I found at the dollar store these little foam glitter hearts, and I had some leftover white sock yarn, And so what I was doing and have been doing a lot today is making a small garland out of it. And it's kind of turned out fun. I kind of just used my tapestry needle, and this one has a good, you can see has a good point to it. And just strung up some sock yarn, went in, went out so that they lay flat. And I just started stringing up all these little hearts, and it's really just a nice little garland to hang over an archway or over a window or anywhere you like. And or the stair banister, I was thinking of doing it, but I just have been having fun today with this little garland. And the scale of it is fun because when you hang it, it kind of looks like Valentine's Christmas lights because it's not very large and it's just kind of delicate and just kind of hangs there. So I mentioned on Instagram that I would show this today, and I've just been having fun with it. So yay, cheap garland for $1, which is kind of nice. So yeah. So I think that's all I really have this week. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I have been watching the Instagram updates and the YouTube updates of some other knitting podcasters that I so enjoy and watch all the time as they venture off into the New York that Vogue Knitting Live, which looks like an amazing convention, and it's been so much fun to look at what they're looking at and just see what they have. I really would love, one of my goals for this year, I would love to go to a yarn festival. And I don't know what they have in my neck of the woods. I'm going to have to look into it. So if you know of any yarn festivals in the greater Rocky Mountain area, that would be, anywhere there would be travelable for me. And also, I'm from California and I visit there all the time. My husband and I go back for family. So if you know of any, California or Rocky Mountain located yarn festivals that you're a fan of or that you go to, please let me know and comment below, because I would love to go experience that. I think it looks amazing. Vero from Along the Lanes podcast, I adore her. And one of the first knitting podcasts I ever watched was her vlog when she went to the Edinburgh Yarn Festival in Scotland. Now that one would be a dream because I've always wanted to get to Great Britain, and to see some yarn there, that could be a double dream. But for the time being, for 2017, I'm probably going to have to aim closer to home. So yeah, I would love to hear if you know of any yarn festivals on the western half, basically, of the U.S. Anywhere there I can pretty much get to. New York would be a little harder. I was looking at all the yarn goodness from Vogue Knitting Live that's happening this weekend, and just thinking, okay, maybe I should get back there next year, but I don't know. We used to have family in New York that we could stay with, and it was kind of an incentive, of course, to go out and visit, and now they've moved, so now I know no one there, and I'm kind of like, I don't know. So I'm thinking local. So that's the plan for this year. Anything in the western half of the U.S., if it's a yarn festival, I'm going to consider taking a trek and going there. So anyway, those are just some random musings from my head, and I think that's pretty much all I have to share. I hope everyone has a really nice week, enjoying mid-January, which can be kind of a slump after all the Christmas excitement if you're busy for holidays and things. So it's a great time to cast on new projects. I think it's a great time to get excited about new crafts and skills. So I hope that your mid-January goes really well, and feel free to leave a comment, to subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I look forward to maybe chatting with you guys online in Ravelry or Instagram, and I just hope you have a great week. So thanks so much. Bye.